Imagine standing at the edge of a rainbow-colored mountain, or walking through a village where everything is carved from salt, or swimming in water so pink, it looks like you're floating in a strawberry milkshake. This isn't fantasy, these places actually exist. Welcome to the ultimate travel guide that takes you through 50 of the most unbelievable places on Earth. Each location is more surreal than the last, some hidden in remote corners of the globe, others just hours from major cities. You'll see landscapes that look like they belong on another planet, and wonders that defy all logic and explanation. From glowing caves to upside-down forests and pink lakes, get ready to have your perception of Earth completely redefined. Stick with us until number 1, you won't believe what we found there. Let's begin. 50. Vinicunca, the Rainbow Mountain, Peru. At nearly 17,000 feet above sea level in the Andes, Vinicunca is a mountain unlike any other. It's streaked with vibrant bands of red, green, yellow, and purple, all natural pigments created by mineral deposits laid down over millions of years. What makes it even more incredible is that this spectacle was hidden under snow until recently, when melting glaciers exposed its full glory. It looks like a canvas of swirling colors brushed by nature itself, and that's what makes it so unbelievable. A rainbow mountain that truly exists in real life. 49. Lake Hillyard, Australia. Off the coast of Western Australia lies Lake Hillyard, a bubblegum pink lake that maintains its color all year round. The shade comes from salt-tolerant algae and bacteria that thrive in its saline waters. Even more surprising, the water stays pink even when bottled. Sitting right beside the deep blue Southern Ocean, the contrast is visually stunning. What makes this lake unbelievable is its surreal, almost artificial color that defies our expectations of nature's palette. 48. Mutnavowski Ice Caves, Russia. Beneath the volcanic slopes of Mutnavowski and Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, steam vents and ice collide to create glowing ice caves straight out of a fantasy novel. Sunlight filters through thin layers of ice, illuminating the cave walls in shades of electric blue and purple. It's a rare collision of fire and ice, where active geothermal energy sculpts frozen tunnels. What makes this place truly unbelievable is that such delicate, dreamlike beauty can form under the shadow of a fiery volcano. The Danakil Depression in northeastern Ethiopia is one of the most hostile environments on Earth. Temperatures soar past 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and the land is dotted with neon green acid pools, steaming geysers, and molten lava flows. It's toxic, volatile, and mesmerizing. The colors and textures look like something from another planet. What makes the Danakil Depression unbelievable is that despite its deadly appearance, it exists here on Earth, and it's alive with geological energy. Sitting on the edge of the world's largest salt flat, the Palacio Desal is a hotel made entirely from salt. The walls, the floors, the furniture, even the beds. Every detail is crafted from blocks of solid salt, sourced right from the surrounding landscape of Salar de Yu Yuni. It's a place where you don't just visit the salt flats, you sleep inside them. What makes this destination so unbelievable is the sheer ambition of turning salt into shelter, luxury, and comfort in the middle of a dazzling white desert. Towering above the clouds at the tri-border of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, Mount Rorima is a flat-topped mountain that inspired the landscape of Paradise Falls in Pixar's Up. Its massive tabletop summit rises sharply from the surrounding jungle, cloaked in mist and mystery. The surface is home to rare plants, quartz fields, and sheer cliffs that drop thousands of feet. What makes this place so unbelievable is its dramatic isolation. A prehistoric plateau that feels like it belongs in another world entirely. Pamakal, Turkey. Known as the Cotton Castle, Pamakal is a landscape of white travertine terraces created by centuries of flowing, mineral-rich hot springs. These terraces form natural infinity pools that cascade down a mountainside in dazzling shades of white and turquoise. The mineral formations are soft to the touch and constantly reshaped by flowing water. What makes Pamakal unbelievable is how it combines the beauty of snow, water, and stone into a single formation that seems almost too perfect to be real. Antelope Canyon, USA. Hidden beneath the desert sands of Arizona lies Antelope Canyon, a narrow slot canyon sculpted by flash floods over millions of years. Its sinuous walls glow in waves of orange, red, and gold as sunlight filters through cracks in the ceiling. Visitors feel as if they're walking inside a living sculpture. What makes Antelope Canyon unbelievable is the natural symmetry and beauty of its curves. It looks more like an artist's creation than an accident of erosion. Socotra Island, Yemen. Socotra has often been called the most alien-looking place on Earth, and for good reason. Isolated in the Indian Ocean, this island is home to species found nowhere else, like the bizarre dragon's blood tree, which looks like a giant mushroom and bleeds red sap. Its flora and fauna evolved in total isolation for millions of years. What makes Socotra so unbelievable is that it feels like stepping onto a lost world, untouched, unexplored, and unlike anywhere else on the planet. Every autumn, the marshes of Panjin in northeastern China transform into a sea of crimson. This phenomenon is caused by a rare type of seaweed called Suaeda salsa, which turns deep red as it matures. The vibrant hue stretches across the horizon, interrupted only by winding boardwalks. What makes Red Beach unbelievable is how a natural wetland can turn into a blazing red landscape that looks like it was dipped in dye. Yet it's entirely real and thriving with wildlife. In the middle of the Karakum Desert, a fiery crater burns endlessly, a massive pit of flames stretching nearly 70 meters across. Known as the Door to Hell, it's the result of a Soviet drilling mishap in 1971, where the ground collapsed into a natural gas cavern. To prevent toxic gas emissions, scientists set it on fire, expecting it to burn out in a few days. It's still burning over 50 years later. What makes this place so unbelievable is the eternal inferno, a blazing hole in the desert that glows like a portal to another realm. Carved by thousands of years of wave erosion, the marble caves of Patagonia are a labyrinth of swirling blue and white patterns that shimmer in crystal-clear glacial water. Accessible only by boat across Lake General Carrera, these caves reflect every shift in sunlight, creating an ever-changing spectacle. What makes them so unbelievable is their kaleidoscopic beauty. The caves look like polished stone cathedrals floating in an impossible blue dream. This 1,200-year-old stepwell in Rajasthan plunges 13 stories deep and features over 3,500 perfectly symmetrical steps arranged in an intricate geometric pattern. Originally built to conserve water in the arid region, it's now one of the most mind-bending architectural feats in the world. What makes Chanbauri unbelievable is its sheer mathematical precision. A subterranean maze carved by hand that looks like something out of a digital simulation. Covering over 350 hectares, Hitachi Seaside Park is a botanical wonderland that transforms with the seasons. From endless blue Nemophila blooms in spring to fiery red kochia bushes in autumn, the park becomes an ever-shifting sea of color. The sight of a bright blue floral carpet stretching to the horizon feels like a living painting. What makes this park unbelievable is how nature is choreographed so perfectly, each bloom timed and tuned to create surreal, immersive colorscapes. In British Columbia, Spotted Lake appears as a normal body of water, until the summer heat dries it up, revealing hundreds of circular mineral pools in shades of yellow, green, and blue. The lake is rich in magnesium sulfate, calcium, and other minerals, which crystallize into patterns as water evaporates. What makes this lake so unbelievable is the sight of dozens of colorful circles spread like an alien mosaic across a dried lakebed, an otherworldly phenomenon found nowhere else. Beneath the green hills of New Zealand's North Island lies a subterranean galaxy. The Witomo Caves are home to thousands of bioluminescent glowworms that light up the darkness like a starry sky. Tourists drift silently through the cave's winding channels on boats, surrounded by shimmering blue lights above. What makes this place so unbelievable is that it looks like a planetarium, except these stars are living creatures, glowing in perfect harmony. Stretching more than 10,000 square kilometers, Salar de Yu Yuni is the world's largest salt flat, a brilliant white expanse that stretches to the horizon. After a light rain, a thin layer of water turns it into the largest natural mirror on Earth, perfectly reflecting the sky above. The result is a surreal, dreamlike landscape where the ground disappears and you feel like you're walking on clouds. What makes this salt flat unbelievable is its perfect illusion, a place where Earth and sky seem to merge into one endless surface. On the island of Flores, Mount Kelamutu hosts 3 crater lakes, each a different color and each capable of changing hue over time. From turquoise to black, from red to green, the lakes shift mysteriously due to varying mineral content and gas emissions from beneath the earth. What makes Kelamutu so unbelievable is that these 3 lakes sit side by side, yet look like they belong on different planets, constantly transforming their identities like a living mood ring. Off the coast of Belize, a near-perfect circular sinkhole known as the Great Blue Hole plunges more than 120 meters into the deep. Surrounded by turquoise reef, the hole appears as a massive navy eye in the sea, dark, foreboding and full of geological secrets. Divers from around the world descend into its depths to explore underwater stalactites and caves. What makes the Blue Hole so unbelievable is its impossible symmetry. A mysterious void in the ocean that feels engineered but is completely natural. A stretch of railway, hidden in a lush Ukrainian forest, transforms each spring and summer into a fairy tale tunnel of green. Trees arch perfectly over the tracks, forming a natural passage where trains still occasionally roll through. It's a popular destination for couples and photographers alike. What makes the Tunnel of Love so unbelievable is its precision. The trees have grown so evenly, shaped not by design but by the consistent path of a passing train. Along the rugged coast of Northern Ireland lies a surreal shoreline made up of more than 40,000 interlocking basalt columns. The hexagonal pillars look so precise that many once believed they were crafted by giants, hence the name. In reality, they were formed 60 million years ago by volcanic activity. What makes the Giant's Causeway so unbelievable is the uniformity of the columns, a natural formation that looks like the foundation of an ancient temple built by mythical beings. Hidden deep in the jungles of Mindanao, the Enchanted River is a narrow, crystal-clear waterway that glows in shades of sapphire and emerald. Despite extensive research, no one has ever reached its true source or determined its full depth. The locals believe spirits guard it and divers describe strange currents and underwater caves. What makes this river so unbelievable is not just its beauty, but its mystery, a glowing, seemingly bottomless stream that defies scientific explanation. At first glance, Lake Natron appears like any other salt lake. But get closer, and you'll see petrified birds and animals resting along the shore, seemingly turned to stone. The lake's extreme alkalinity and high temperatures create a deadly environment for most wildlife. Its reddish waters add to its eerie atmosphere. What makes Lake Natron so unbelievable is its haunting effect, a beautiful yet lethal mirror that preserves creatures in eerie perfection, like nature's own taxidermy. Often confused with the door to hell, the Derwise Gas Crater is actually a separate phenomenon. A giant fiery sinkhole created by a collapsed gas field. Flames have been burning here since 1971, casting an orange glow that can be seen from miles away. Tourists camp nearby just to witness the nightly spectacle. What makes this crater so unbelievable is that it has burned non-stop for over 50 years, a man-made mistake that accidentally created one of the most visually dramatic scenes on Earth. Every winter a freshwater lake in northeast Thailand explodes into a sea of blooming red lotus flowers. From January to March, millions of vibrant blossoms stretch across the water as far as the eye can see. Boats weave through the floating garden, offering surreal panoramic views. What makes the Red Lotus Sea so unbelievable is the contrast. A plain lake suddenly transforming into a blanket of deep pinks and reds, painting the landscape with life. In the depths of winter, Alberta's Abraham Lake becomes a frozen canvas of trapped white bubbles stacked in layers beneath the ice. These bubbles are actually frozen methane, released by decaying organic matter below. The phenomenon is dangerous. If the ice breaks, the gas can ignite, but visually, it's breathtaking. What makes this lake so unbelievable is the surreal illusion, millions of bubbles suspended in time, creating a natural display that looks more like glass art than frozen gas. While Mount Rorima itself made this list earlier, its waterfalls deserve their own mention. Rainwater on the plateau has nowhere to go but down, and it spills in spectacular vertical sheets off the mountain's cliffs, sometimes disappearing mid-air into clouds below. Some of these are among the world's highest. What makes these waterfalls so unbelievable is their ethereal nature. They often appear to pour from the sky itself, with no visible beginning or end. At night, the shoreline of Vadu Island comes alive with light, the waves glowing a bright electric blue as they roll onto the sand. This magical display is caused by a type of bioluminescent plankton that reacts to movement in the water. As waves crash and footprints fall, the ocean sparkles like a galaxy. What makes the Sea of Stars so unbelievable is that it feels like walking through stardust, a cosmic phenomenon playing out on Earth's surface. This geological wonder in Gansu province is often referred to as the Painted Mountains. Formed from layers of red sandstone and mineral deposits, the hills and ridges have been shaped by erosion into flowing stripes of color. The result is a landscape that looks airbrushed with rainbow hues. What makes Dangia so unbelievable is that the colors are completely natural, a geological masterpiece created over 24 million years without a single brushstroke. Near the town of Gryfino in Poland stands a grove of around 400 pine trees, all bent sharply at the base into a near-perfect 90-degree curve before growing upward again. No one knows exactly how or why this happened. Some believe it was a human intervention, others point to natural anomalies. What makes the crooked forest so unbelievable is the precision and consistency of the curves, a natural sculpture garden that looks designed, yet remains an unsolved mystery. Nestled in the Rif Mountains, Chefchaouen is a Moroccan town where nearly every wall, door and street is painted in varying shades of blue, from powder to indigo. Originally painted to symbolize the sky and heaven, the tradition is now maintained by locals for its cooling effect and striking beauty. What makes Chefchaouen so unbelievable is how uniform and vibrant the city is. It feels like stepping inside a living dreamscape, where every corner glows with calming color. Spread across the island of Bohol are more than 1,200 cone-shaped hills, rising symmetrically from the jungle like mounds of chocolate truffles. During the dry season, the green grass covering them turns brown, creating the delicious-looking appearance. Their origin is still debated, with legends pointing to giants and heartbreak. What makes the Chocolate Hills so unbelievable is their bizarre uniformity. Dozens of perfectly shaped hills dotting the landscape in a way that seems more artificial than natural. Deep beneath the Nika mine in Chihuahua lies a chamber filled with some of the largest crystals ever discovered, some measuring over 30 feet long and weighing up to 55 tons. The cave's conditions are extreme, with temperatures nearing 58 degrees Celsius, 136 degrees Fahrenheit, and humidity levels above 90%. What makes this place so unbelievable is the sheer scale. A hidden crystal palace buried beneath the earth that could pass for Superman's fortress of solitude. Born from a drilling accident in the 1960s, the Fly Geyser continues to erupt in bursts of steaming water, building vibrant mineral terraces that look straight out of science fiction. The geyser's vivid red, green, and yellow colors come from thermophilic algae thriving in the heat. What makes the Fly Geyser so unbelievable is that this alien-looking structure is still growing, a living sculpture created by a strange union of human error and nature's persistence. Lining a dusty road in western Madagascar, a grove of ancient baobab trees rises like natural skyscrapers. These giants, some over 800 years old, have massive trunks that store thousands of liters of water to survive the dry season. Their silhouettes at sunset create one of the most iconic landscapes in Africa. What makes Baobab Avenue so unbelievable is the scale and shape of the trees, enormous, bottle-shaped giants that seem to have been planted by another civilization. Lake Baikal, the deepest and oldest freshwater lake in the world, hides a dazzling secret during winter. As methane gas escapes from the lakebed, it freezes in layers under the surface, forming stacked, glowing white bubbles in crystal-clear ice. The effect is mesmerizing, like time-lapsed orbs suspended in a frozen universe. What makes this phenomenon so unbelievable is how precise and delicate it looks. A natural freeze frame of invisible gases captured in perfect symmetry. Hidden in the Paria Canyon Vermilion Cliffs, Wilderness is a rock formation so surreal it looks computer-generated. The wave is made of sandstone, shaped into flowing, ribbon-like patterns by ancient wind and water erosion. Access is limited to protect its fragile structure. What makes the wave so unbelievable is how sculpted and fluid the rock appears, as if a painter's brush had carved the desert floor into waves of stone. Mount Erebus is one of Earth's southernmost active volcanoes, and it creates icy structures that seem to defy nature. As warm volcanic gases escape into the freezing air, they form massive hollow towers of ice, some reaching 60 feet high. These ice fumaroles constantly evolve, reshaping with the wind and steam. What makes this place so unbelievable is that volcanoes and ice rarely mix, yet here they coexist in haunting harmony. At the Kawachi Fuji Gardens in Kitakyushu, a long passageway is draped in cascading wisteria flowers in purples, whites, and pinks. During spring bloom, the tunnel becomes a fragrant floral chandelier glowing with natural light. Walking through it feels like entering a fantasy world or stepping into a watercolor painting. What makes this tunnel so unbelievable is the sheer elegance of nature on display, a walkway through a living, breathing art installation. Beneath the vibrant streets of Paris lies a chilling underworld, miles of tunnels lined with the skulls and bones of over 6 million people. Created in the 18th century to solve the city's overflowing cemeteries, the catacombs are now a haunting labyrinth of human history. What makes this place so unbelievable is not just its eerie scale, but the surreal reality of walking through walls made of bones, a quiet reminder of mortality hidden beneath the city of light. In the remote region of Meta, Colombia, a river flows with the colors of the rainbow. Between June and November, Macarenia clavidura plants bloom beneath the water, painting the riverbed in red, yellow, green, blue, and black. It's often called the most beautiful river in the world. What makes Kochristales so unbelievable is how natural elements, light, water, plants, and rock, align to create a liquid rainbow that's entirely real and completely magical. Unlike the golden sands you'd expect from the Sahara, this desert is a vast landscape of bizarre white rock formations sculpted by sandstorms. These chalk towers and mushroom-shaped monoliths rise out of the pale earth like an alien sculpture garden. What makes the White Desert so unbelievable is the eerie, lunar-like scenery, a frozen wasteland of white where you'd expect nothing but heat and dunes. In the calm waters of Mosquito Bay on Vieques Island, the sea glows neon blue with every stroke of a paddle or movement of a fish. This bioluminescence is caused by microscopic dinoflagellates, tiny marine organisms that light up when disturbed. It's the brightest bioluminescent bay in the world. What makes this phenomenon so unbelievable is the intensity. It's not just a faint glow, it's a radiant explosion of light, turning water into liquid starlight. These mist-covered sandstone peaks in Hunan province rise like giant fingers into the clouds. Inspiration for the floating Hallelujah Mountains in the film Avatar, the views here are mystical, especially when morning fog wraps around the pillars. What makes Mount Tianzi so unbelievable is its cinematic quality. A place so unreal it's hard to believe you haven't stepped into a movie or a dream. Just outside Dakar, Lake Retba stuns visitors with its cotton candy pink waters. The lake's high salt content supports the growth of Dunaliella salina, a microalgae that turns the water pink. Local salt harvesters wade through it daily, coated in shea butter to protect their skin. What makes Lake Retba so unbelievable is the strength of its hue, a bold pink that's more intense than even the famous Lake Hillyard in Australia. Wulingyuan Scenic Area, China. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, this region is known for its thousands of quartzite sandstone pillars, some over 200 meters high, densely packed across forested valleys. Many seem to defy gravity, standing on their own without connection to surrounding peaks. What makes Wulingyuan so unbelievable is its scale and verticality, a forest of stone towers rising through the mist like a forgotten world. Bloodfalls Antarctica. In the coldest, driest region on Earth, a crimson waterfall seeps from the Taylor Glacier into a frozen lake. The water isn't blood, it's iron-rich brine that oxidizes when exposed to air, turning a deep red. Hidden beneath the ice is a subglacial lake sealed off for millions of years. What makes Bloodfalls so unbelievable is the visual shock. A stream of red pouring out of a brilliant white glacier in the middle of a frozen desert. Discovered only in the 1990s and fully explored in 2009, Sun Dung is the largest cave on Earth. So massive it contains its own jungle, river, and cloud system. Some of its chambers reach 200 meters high. Exploring it feels like discovering a lost continent underground. What makes Sun Dung so unbelievable is its hidden scale, an entire ecosystem sealed in stone untouched for millennia. From above it looks like a perfect navy circle in the turquoise sea, but below the surface it drops into an underwater cathedral of stalactites and ancient formations. Believed to be a collapsed cave system from the Ice Age, the Great Blue Hole is a diver's paradise and one of Earth's most iconic marine mysteries. What makes it so unbelievable is the precision of its shape and depth, a geological masterpiece that appears carved with mathematical perfection. Topping our list is nature's most elusive and awe-inspiring light show, the Aurora Borealis. Caused by solar winds colliding with Earth's magnetic field, The sky erupts in waves of green, pink, purple, and blue. Visible across the polar regions, the northern lights dance silently across the heavens, reminding us of the cosmos above. What makes the aurora so unbelievable is its surreal beauty, a living sky painted by particles from the sun, seen only by those lucky enough to be in the right place, at the right moment. You've just traveled across deserts, mountains, oceans, and underground worlds, and you never even left your seat. These weren't CGI effects or fantasy worlds. Every place you saw in this video is real, alive, and waiting to be explored. But this is only the beginning. There are hundreds more unbelievable places hidden around the planet, places most people will never even hear about, let alone see. If this video opened your eyes, inspired your wanderlust, or just made you feel something new, subscribe to The Unseen Traveler right now, because every week we bring you deeper, to the forgotten, to the mysterious, to the magical corners of the earth that travel guides ignore. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just raw, breathtaking beauty. Like this video, drop a comment with your dream destination, and share it with someone who needs to remember how incredible this world really is. You've seen what's possible. Now imagine what's next. Welcome to The Unseen Traveler, your journey has just begun.